Hello and welcome to the Battle Wagon. I'm back with another Legions Imperialis video where I'm combing through the Liber Strategia book. This time I want to evaluate the formations of legend, now called iconic formations. This video took me slightly longer to create than I anticipated, so any help you can give me by liking and subscribing would be greatly appreciated. Starting on page 189, there are 18 iconic formations. Some of these are new, while others are updated versions of existing lists. Without specifically stating it, Liber Strategia presents the updated formations first, followed by the new ones. I've chosen to discuss them organized by army. There are 7 iconic formations for Solar Auxilia, 2 for Mechanicum, 1 for Collegia Titanica, and 8 for Legions Astartes. 3 of these are updated versions of old formations, and 5 are brand new. I love the concept of these formations and wanted to take a detailed look at their benefits and limitations. As usual, GW owns any images of models, and I am just one person doing what I enjoy, so let me know if you see any mistakes or omissions. Iconic formations are an army building limitation that provides specific detachments and loadouts at a set point cost. This lack of options and customization is, quite frankly, a hefty drawback. However, there are 2 big benefits. Each iconic formation has a special ability which varies from a simple stat buff or bonus trait to firing a big gun in additional time. These are quite difficult to value, so I wanted to take a close look at the second benefit, which is a points discount. You can expect an average discount of around 10.5%. There are a couple outliers, which I'll highlight as they come up in the following slides. The Iron Hands Seeker Killer Clave Ultor is our first iconic formation, which is an update to an old formation of legend. This formation is limited to 1 per army, which I'll refer to as unique. An army fielding this formation must have a Loyalist allegiance. Detachments in this formation gain the Macro Extinction Targeting Protocol, allowing them to reroll to hit and fight rolls against Super Heavies, Knights, and Titans. This ability would be great with all of the Sicarans and Sabers, except that these vehicles have fairly limited range. This same short range limits the synergy with the Iron Hands ability to resist hits when vehicles have a first fire order. The good news is that this formation boasts the average discount of 10%, even after the lower detachment costs. The standard detachment is only 410 points, and the expanded increases this by another 260, meaning you'll have plenty of room to fill out the rest of your army with complementary units. The Iron Warriors proioxis Macro Assault Wing is also an updated iconic formation. It is unique and must have a traitor allegiance. Terminators in this formation gain a conditional bonus to the close assault factor, which stacks nicely with the Iron Warriors bonus to CAF, which is great because the formation is primarily Terminators and their Spartan transports. The standard detachment looks pretty good with a 10% discount, but the extended detachment is a 15-point penalty. The standard detachment is a great addition to any army or a nice basis for a full Iron Warriors force. Until there is an errata, you might skip the extended detachment unless you want the extra formation strength. The Alpha Legion Harrow Group Arcadis is another updated iconic formation. It is also unique, but doesn't have an allegiance either way. Detachments in this formation gain Outflank and Scout. From my understanding, there was an old 40k technique of leaving all your units in reserve, and this would be the best way to start building for that tactic. Let me know in the comments if there's a condition in the rules where you'd auto-lose if you have no units on the table. The standard detachment is a bunch of Sicaran Punishers and Plasma Legionaries with Land Raider transports. The extended detachment adds Sabers and more Plasma Legionaries with Land Raiders. These detachments boast a discount of around 10%, with plenty of points left over to make up for any weaknesses and desired army customization. Our first new formation is the Legion Tactical Strike Force. This formation is not unique, can be used with any allegiance, and isn't linked to any specific legion, which kind of goes against anything I expected from iconic formations. The command squad in the standard detachment may use the Master Tactician twice, but targets of this ability must be from this formation. This iconic formation has a second rule, providing Legion Tactical Detachments the Line special rule, increasing their tactical strength for objectives. The standard and extended detachments boast a variety of legionaries with their Rhino transports. These are great for 10 and 15% discounts respectively, totaling 53-point savings. While not substantial in large games, this strike force is efficient and versatile. The tactical strike force can easily be made with a couple boxes of Astartes, infantry, and rhinos and fit into almost any army, meaning it might end up being the most used iconic formation. Next up is the Legion Speartip Assault. Just like the previous formation, it is not unique, can be used with any allegiance, and isn't linked to any specific legion. All detachments from this formation must begin in their dedicated transports, which is probably something that was going to happen anyway. The second rule, however, prevents deep strike models from scattering, which is great because the standard detachment is infantry and drop pods, while the extended detachment is dreadnoughts and their drop pods. Each has a palisade for extra protection. The standard detachment boasts a discount over 20%, the largest in this list. One way to think about this is that each drop pod transport comes out to about 1 point each. Very nice. The extended detachment also has a larger than average discount of 13.5%. The Legion Speartip Assault can easily be made with a couple boxes of Astartes infantry and drop pods, and fit into almost any force, meaning it might end up being the most used formation. Sound familiar? You'll probably see this formation used in conjunction with the strike force as the foundation of infantry for any army. In fact, the Speartip standard detachment, with a full tactical strike force, is exactly 600 points, making them perfect allies for any vehicle-heavy primary force in a 2,000-point army. The Legion Stonebreaker Siege Force is also not unique, can be used with any allegiance, and isn't linked to any specific legion. When infantry models in this formation fight against units garrisoned within a damaged structure, the defender gains no structure bonus. Admittedly, the likelihood of consistently pulling this off is quite negligible. What is important for this formation are the discounts of 10%, increasing to the largest of any formation at over 22% for the extended detachment. The standard detachment consists of infantry and land raiders along with some short-range vindicators. The extended formation is more of the same, supported by a unit of 6 whirlwinds. All in all, there's nothing groundbreaking about this formation other than the steep discount. Moving on, we have the Death Guard Reaping Host. While not unique nor restricted by allegiance, this formation must be Death Guard. While not garrisoned in inside structures, missile launchers in this formation gain the ability to damage structures. Unfortunately, this ability conflicts with the Legion ability. The standard detachment includes missile marines and terminators and Spartans, coming in with a 6.5% discount. The extended formation brings missile marines, quad rapiers, and more terminators and Spartans, but with an almost 8% discount. This formation's lack of purpose, under average discount, and locked legion means it will likely be limited to thematic armies. Last, but definitely not least, is the White Scars Chagorian Warband. White Scars are my primary army, so I'd like to discuss this formation in a little more detail. This legion locked formation is not restricted by allegiance or uniqueness. The standard detachment gains forward deployment, with no additional benefit to the extended detachment. In order to have enough scimitars for this formation, you'll need 3 boxes of Fast Attack Squad. All of these models in the standard formation, as well as the Outriders in the extended detachment, synergize well with the increased Jinx save from White Scar's Legion special rule. The scimitars are one of my favorite anti-infantry models, since they can shoot for full effect when marching for their now increased movement of 24 inches. Note that the land speeders use an updated rule, allowing all models to use the optional loadout. Despite their weapons splitting effectiveness against infantry and armor, they'll tear up walkers and other cavalry. The final unit in the standard formation are 6 javelins with las cannons as an anti-tank threat. The extended formation provides the buffed Outriders, which now have an assault on their twin plasma guns and may still use their point defense bolters against infantry. The tactical detachment with Rhino transports should be used to take an objective, and the added apothecary should provide a little durability. I am a huge fan of the Anvilus Sabers in this list, allowing you to further flood the board with inexpensive yet very aggressive wounds. There are a few differences between this iconic formation and what you can build with the Skyhunter Phalanx. You lose the air support slot, but gain some tactical marines and rhinos. Outflank becomes forward deployment, and finally, you get the respectable 10% discount. This formation rewards you for doing what the White Scars already wants to do, and I look forward to fielding it as a core formation of my army. I plan to continue these videos over the next few days. Next up are the rest of the iconic formations. I've started to run some numbers on the math of the ranged firepower, but that one's becoming a larger undertaking than I expected. Down the road, I'd like to evaluate the support formations, just like I am doing here. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else you'd like to see, and as always, have a wonderful day.